Huge news in the crypto market last week. The government essentially lost a landmark court case that seems like it's going to change everything for crypto, especially for Ethereum and the smaller altcoins. I'm here with Stephen McBride, Chief Analyst of RiskHedge. Stephen, you predicted this. You were spot on. Tell us what happens and what it means for crypto investors now.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. As you said, this is really huge news. It's a decision that we've been waiting 2.5 years for. And I just want to give people some context on what this means for crypto investors and the market going forward. So people might have heard that crypto is the government is cracking down on crypto and regulation is a big, huge problem. What does that actually mean? Well, it's really centered around a key question, okay? Which crypto tokens are securities and which are commodities? Now, look, I don't want to get into all the legal definitions and why that matters and all that type of stuff, but basically, being a security is not illegal, okay? Apple stock is a security, Microsoft is a security. The problem is when you apply that label to a crypto token, it essentially makes it illegal, okay? To be a security, you have to appoint a CEO and hold an annual board of directors meeting and all those type of things that are essentially incompatible with what we think of as, decentralized companies running on crypto rails, okay? So what happened, and just to give folks some context, the SEC has been running around for the last 2 years or so saying everything is a security. And I took this case against a crypto project called Ripple for its XRP token in December 2020, okay? So it accused Ripple of selling unregistered securities. 2.5-year legal battle, okay? SEC was expected to win. Last Thursday, a federal judge from the Southern District of New York came out and she said, Ripple's XRP is not a security. Specifically, the tokens sold on exchanges like Coinbase or Binance are not securities. Again, this is a huge deal for many reasons, which of course we can get into. But yeah, it's really a landmark ruling that it's like crypto's big forced win in the courts against overzealous rogue regulators.
So that's Ripple. What about the other thousands of cryptos out there? Are there going to be court cases for everyone?
Yeah, so here's the thing, Dan. SEC has been running around saying everything is a security for the last while. This judge's ruling, it was nuanced but it doesn't set precedent yet. But it's a court case that again, the SEC has accused many different crypto projects of being securities. If those cases go to court, they can all point to this ruling and say, hey, look, the judge interpreted the law in this way. It said XRP was not a security. And look, I'm a big proponent of crypto. I think it's one of the most important disruptive technologies to invest in, to understand, to know for at least the next decade. But I'm no fan of Ripple. In my eyes, Ripple was essentially selling securities. It was a centralized company, unlike many of the decentralized blockchain projects. If the SEC cannot prove Ripple is a security, it has no hope against all the other tokens that it's claimed as security. So look, this is not the be all and end all, but it's a big win for crypto. And even if the SEC does appeal this, they have to live with this decision for the next year or two until that appeal happens. So they, for the first time ever, are on the back foot.
So what do you think? I mean, does this close the case on whether cryptos are securities? Are we good to go? We're going to see prices head off to the races. Is this it?
Yeah, so two questions kind of in there. Is this it? No, absolutely not. Okay, so as I said, the case will be most likely appealed, then has to go to a higher court. That's going to take another year or two, okay? So strap in. But as I said, for now, the SEC is on the back foot with this case. It kind of had this vision that it was steamrolling through and it was going to label everything securities and it was going to essentially outlaw all these tokens. That's not the case. As regards crypto prices, I think it changes one very important thing. So, in Risk Hedge Venture, we really recommended since the beginning of the year that investors heavily weight towards larger coins like Ethereum. And the reason was, in past downturns in bear markets, you see those coins usually outperform the smaller crypto tokens. But this cycle had something new, and that was to do with regulation. A lot of people that I talk to, a lot of crypto funds I know, they really exited the smaller tokens for fear that the SEC was going to label them all securities, okay? And they were hiding out in Bitcoin and Ethereum and things like that. And you've seen those Bitcoin and Ethereum outperform the vast majority of smaller projects year to date. I don't think that changes quite yet, but it is going to change over the next couple of months, because right now every single fund in crypto, it really doesn't own many of these smaller projects, because, as I said, it's been fearful. That's going to change, and I think you're going to see a lot of money flow into those smaller tokens.
So for the average guy who's been nervous to get into crypto because they've heard about this regulatory uncertainty, what would you tell them? Would you tell them it's okay to dip a toe in now?
Yes, absolutely. Look, we've made the case before that when you so today crypto really doesn't have any it doesn't have any constitutional regulation, in the sense that it's not enshrined in law yet, like Apple stock is regulated or whatever. We've made the case many times in the past, whether it's with the US stock market or venture capital or the internet itself. When you get regulation, that's usually the start of the boom. Okay, it's not the end, it's the beginning of the boom. This court case is a huge win for crypto, and we should all celebrate it. But what I'm watching now, and what we need to really push for, is that you get crypto legislation in Congress, okay? Actual rules made by rule makers and politicians. So that's what we need. There is important bills working their way through Congress. But as regards the average person, the tide is really turning here, okay? At the start of the year and for the past couple of months, everything looked to be against crypto, okay? And finally, you're starting to win in the courts. Legislators are pushing back against overzealous regulators, and crypto is finally winning, okay? Every time the SEC or the US government goes up against crypto in court, it's losing. That tells you something. So, look, we've been invested for the past couple of months, and I think this is a great time to get back in.
Who is the single biggest winner from this decision?
Yeah, well, it's not XRP, let me tell you that. I think it's Coinbase, and let me tell you why. So, Coinbase, the SEC accused Coinbase of selling of operating an unregistered securities exchange, okay? That would essentially, if found guilty, force Coinbase to shut down its business. The XRP ruling, huge win for Coinbase, because it really puts a dagger in the heart of the SEC's argument against Coinbase. Remember, the judge specifically ruled that XRP tokens trading on secondary venues like exchanges were not securities, okay? So in order for the SEC to prove that Coinbase is operating an unregistered security exchange, that would really fly in the face of this recent ruling. It's telling that Coinbase jumped 25% on the news, now trading at its highest level since May 2022. And look, at the same time as Coinbase is a winner, the SEC has really decapitated many of its largest competitors. Binance US, mortally wounded. Trading volumes are down 94% over the past month or so. And Kraken, Crypto.com, other competitors, they've been weakened too. Coinbase emerges from this incredibly strong. And this was a company that was looking like a disruptor in decline only a year or so ago. And now the SEC might have just handed the North American crypto exchange market to Coinbase.
Wow. All right. Anything you want to add?
No, look, I mean, we should all celebrate this win. As we've been saying for a while, the regulation stuff is the biggest battle of 2023. It looked bleak a couple of months ago, and the tides are finally turning in crypto's favor. So I'm incredibly bullish. I would point out to people that Ethereum bottomed 13 months ago, last June. Okay, I think the all-time low for Coinbase is in. The stock is going higher. So, and as I said, I think money pours in to smaller tokens. So we've been dealing with crypto winter. I think crypto summer, we're finally on the cusp of crypto summer.
Very good. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you, Dan.